What's up, everybody? I'm using my little old mic that I used to have. That reminds me, I gotta clean out all my stuff. So sucks. If anybody knows how to clean out like your earphones, like to get that sweat smell, like I sweat a lot. I tried like wiping them down with disinfectant. Maybe I'll try like using what is it, vinegar, white vinegar. Anyways, yeah, want to talk about a little bit of why you should power lift or power lift movement likes as if you're above 35 and stuff. I think there's a lot of benefits to powerlifting older age. I call it powerlifting. Obviously, I'm not competing, right? So this is just talking about doing the movements. That doesn't matter, barbell, Smith. It's whatever you like, whatever you want to do. I find that barbell. There's really not many barbells at Planet Fitness. It's the closest gym to me. Cheapest too. I mean, you're still getting the same workout, right? I feel like if I was competing, or if I was going to compete, like what is it called, masters or something like that, old people like me, then you would do. I'll probably go to like a powerlifting gym, which I think there's maybe one around here. Um, I'm sorry, so I'm burping because I was running around and I was drinking some Gatorade. I worked out very crazy, so I usually buy like electrolyte Gatorade to kind of replenish myself. But I still drink about a gallon of water a day. Holy smokes, there's a lot of traffic right now. That sucks. Well, it gives me more time to talk to you guys. Anyways, why you should lift heavy. I'm not an expert. This is just my personal experience. When I was younger, I was in track and field. I know it doesn't look like it. I feel like I'm a little chubby. But yeah, I was in track and field. I did a little bit of wrestling. Never did football. I never did soccer, even though I played it in the streets, right? And there was always some aspect of lifting, right? Like in track, mostly legs. Um, I really enjoyed weightlifting in that time, so I did lift a little bit. Most of the time, I was just being a rebel skating, right? As I got older, obviously, you have kids, and you might be like how I am. He's like, oh dang, you get to a point where like, dang, you're fat. So that was my kind of thing, right? And I'm still pretty big. I'm at 230. It's not the weight I want to be at. I'm working towards it. But I started out at 267. Like my peak, I think was 275, and I was like big, man. Like I look like freaking Moby Dick. So that's when I was like, oh, crack, I gotta start working out. So luckily, the company I worked for provided for a membership for the gym. And I took advantage of it. Yeah, I started, at first it was like, oh, I'm going with my thick sweater and everything, just trying to cover up, right? Because I was like really not looking, I felt like I just looked so big. And I progressed little by little. There's times when I dropped down to like 226. Now I'm at probably like 232, 233. Just because the program, as it gets towards the end, a lot less movements, right? But I've been consistent every day. I could incorporate more cardio. One thing I did notice was just strictly sticking to barbell movements or Smith machine movements is my power in everything else just went up. So, like for example, I don't usually do any uh, what do you call it, dumbbell movements, and I guess there's just most of the programs for powerlifting or power building, whatever they called it, really don't use a lot of dumbbell movements. I think the only one that did do it was I think power build and 70s powerlifter. 70s powerlifter did have it in there. It was a brand new program, and I think it was just croc rows and then just hammer curls, but it wasn't like too crazy. But I did notice that going from like just strictly using Smith machine to now doing like a croc row, for example, I was already maxing out the 75 pounds that we had here like pretty easily. For my hammer curls, I was at 65 pounds. Not perfect form, but still keeping my upper body kind of wrecked and then just doing that. So that's a benefit there, is that your overall strength improves everywhere else. And if you guys are better at dieting than me, then you're obviously gonna look more freaking swole than anything. Also, like another improvement that I've noticed was just my joints. So at first, um, when I started, I was sore all the time. Like I kid you not, the first month that I was doing the first kind of hybrid barbell movement program, I cannot walk. I was freaking sitting in the bathroom. I cannot get up. I cannot do anything. It was crazy. So that was one thing there. I was like that help by falling lady, like that old lady Lifeline commercial. That was me basically. I'd be walking and then my knees would just like lock out, or my quads, everything would just lock out. I was not used to that barbell movement. And it didn't help that the first program I did was like something like crazy, like 20 squat reps for 3 sets. And then I did it, I'm dumb, I did it like at 135 when I had never done it before, right? So yeah. So the that's kind of another improvement is your joints, your muscles, everything just kind of slowly doesn't start. Uh, the aching goes away. You're still sore, but the soreness kind of goes away within like a couple hours of your workouts. Like today, I did 465 for my squat on the Smith machine for 2 reps, and then I was doing 435 for how many reps was it? 18 reps. And I feel pretty good right now. Like I'm usually more knocked out, more destroyed. Now that couldn't be the caffeine, but I don't know. So yeah, so your joints get improvement, your muscle density improves, your posture improves. That's another thing that especially like me, that I'm always on the computer, right? Like I'm always sitting down, kind of hunched over. The first thing I noticed right away is like that that position. I hate it now because like I don't. It doesn't feel natural to me now that I've where I'm deadlifting, so I have to focus on keeping a neutral spine and everything. So now I tend to catch myself just always sitting upright on my desk on my computer. So that's another benefit, your posture. Your overall longevity, whatever, livelihood, right? So the more you work out, there's studies that show that you know lifting heavy weights actually helps you when you're going to get old because your body doesn't deteriorate as fast. Now, I'm not saying you got to lift crazy weights, like go crazy ham, like try to be a pro power builder. But I think incorporating barbell movements as the main components of your workouts is a big improvement overall. And I know once I start doing like a more typical cutting program, bodybuilding program, like I'm gonna focus on programs that just stick to those main lifts as the main component, right? So squat, bench press, deadlift, overhead press. Like those are the. I'm gonna make sure those programs are in my thing because they're very important and they help build everything else. So yeah, so that's kind of the gist of it. I'm 38 now, no 39 now, so I'm pushing 40, natural. So that's another aspect of me being involved. So I think every adult, if you're older, try lifting heavy. You'll feel good. You'll look crazy strong. You'll be surprised how strong you are, but you'll also be surprised how sore you are. So it's not for everybody. But I think at least once try it out. Try a program to see how much weight you can lift, and then go back to your typical stuff, right? I'm not perfect by any means. I don't have the perfect diet. I don't have the perfect setup, but the goal is to show you can gain mass through anything, right? Strength. And I've done. There's a video I did where people were commenting that like, oh, you're deadlifting in a Smith machine. It's not the same, right? Well, to prove all those people wrong, I went to the Planet Fitness that had the actual barbell and did the same weight. It was actually easier on a barbell because of you actually get lower into your setup than if you do it on the Smith machine. The Smith machine here, you're already up at your chin, so you're not doing that full going down, right? Um, Squat is a little different. I've only done up to 3.5 plates at the barbell rack because I knew I didn't have the motor skills for it yet, so I'll probably start building slowly. But it's also just a hassle right now. Especially if you go to like Planet Fitness, like you got to go out and grab a bunch of weights because they only stack up to 2 there. So if somebody's using the other rack, you're only gonna be able to use 2, 445. So you got to go get some more, and then you got to bring them back. Just a hassle. So I rather just stick on a Smith machine for the time being. Um, but yeah, those are all the benefits I saw about lifting heavy at an older age, and I'll probably keep doing it until what's that one saying? It's like you'll know when you hit your last PR. So once that happens, and I feel like my body is at its upper limit for my age, my weight, my nutrition, then I'll cut it back. But the good thing is you can cut back and lift at a much higher weight, right? So you can, instead of doing 135 for 15 reps, you're gonna be able to do 225, 315 for 15 reps. So you're gonna be way much more developed. And a lot of the good old in the old days, uh, a lot of the really good bodybuilders are actually the ones who did powerlifting first because they can lift heavier weights, more reps, um, and they started off at a higher plateau. Eventually, they go down, right, to maximize everything science stuff, right? So, but anyways, that was my rant. Why you should lift heavy past 35. Just don't hurt yourself. Take it a step at a time. Do a program. Remember, it took me 2 years, a year and a half, and a little bit more, just to get to the 500-pound squat. And that was just naturally progressing, naturally documenting every program, every PR, every AMRAP, everything. So it took me about a year and a half solid, just continuously working out, following every program, never skipping what I had to do in terms of reps, in terms of mat reps. So take your time, get there. Don't get too crazy and fussed. Don't get crazy. Keep it simple, always simple. Squat, deadlift, bench, and that's it. Anyways, that was my car chat today. Hope you guys have a great day, a great weekend, a great week starting for you guys. Leave a comment down below. What do you guys think? Should you live heavy after 40 or at 40, or keep it light? But one thing for sure, keep it simple, stupid. That's what I'm for lifting. Anyways, have a great day, everybody. See you guys.